There's one little thing that most people are actually told when they're a kid that translates into the adulthood of the person. And this is something that limits your growth as a person. It is a secret little lie that is told to you by society in order to make you feel like you are someone important or someone valuable within the current realm of experience that you currently have. But in fact, is what is keeping you soft and weak and little confined to your little existence, to your little current abilities, to your current state. Now, what is this little secret, you might ask? The little phrase, little sentence, little mechanism that makes people stay the way they are forever and not really seek any change, any difference. Now, everybody changes to a certain degree, and you have to think for yourself, how do you change? Like, you kind of have to force change, right? Because if you don't really force it, if you don't reject and sacrifice who you were before, then you can't really just change. Like, you'll always have a part of you that is inherently this person, right? It's the sunken cost fallacy mechanism, where if you've put time and effort and energy into something, you'll always want to put more time and effort and energy into it because you don't want to feel like you've made a mistake, right? It's kind of like when you play video games or you have an addiction or you whatever, okay? So this little secret, this little phrase, this little sentence is basically, if you were a kid, and this is especially true for women, they're told as a little girl, they're told this all the time. Oh, you're just special. You're just a special little snowflake. You're perfect the way you are. Don't worry about it. Everything will come to you. You don't have to do anything. I'll get anything you want. Like, what do you want to do right now? When I was a kid, my parents, bless their hearts, did their very best to educate me and to raise me the way I was. And to be perfectly honest with you, at the very start, the earliest thing I can remember is that I could do whatever the fuck I wanted. I could do whatever the fuck I wanted. I could tell them no, I could tell them, hey, we're gonna do this, I could do this, and that, and it kind of put me in a position of entitled leadership. Now, I never asked for this, but it was the first thing that defaulted to whatever I wanted to do, right? It's like, oh, let's go on vacation here. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. And I'm like, now that I think about it, this is exactly what I'm talking about for every single person. If your parents aren't strict with you, aren't really understanding of how the world works, and they raise you as a kid not knowing these things, you're just going to end up being another person that doesn't care about reality. And you're going to be entitled, and you're not really going to do anything. You're not really going to seek change. You're not really going to develop your own abilities. You're just going to course through the world, whoop-de-doo, and do whatever you want. And then when something doesn't compete or doesn't work with you and you don't really like it, you'll jump up and down and you'll get angry and whatever. But nothing will change. It's all feelings schmeelings. Now, you've probably had this happen once or twice in your life, if not multiple times, if not many more times. I'll give you an example. When I was 3 years into my private university studies. So I graduated at 18, and then from the ages of 18 to 21, I studied at this private university for 3D graphics design and movie VFX and video games and whatever the fuck, okay? I thought that was the future. I thought that was something interesting. I thought that was something valuable, funny, cool, whatever. And I went through it. And then at a certain point, I was just like, you know what? This is shit. This is actually shit. And I had a chat with my parents, and I said, this is shit. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't see myself working a job here. I don't see myself pushing forward. I've had multiple people in my ear tell me like what's going to happen if I do this, if I pursue this career or whatever. And I don't think that's what I want to do. And my parents told me like, oh yeah, but you need to finish the thing so you get the piece of paper. Because at the time I was in France. I was living in France. France is a very bureaucratic state, a very bureaucratic country, and so if you don't have this little piece of paper at the end of your graduation, nobody gives a shit about your diploma. So the piece of paper is just to allow you to say, hey, I'm qualified for this job, when in reality, if you had the skills, they wouldn't even check. If you didn't have the skills, you just had a piece of paper, they would just let you in. They didn't give a fuck. It's very fucking stupid. So basically, I told them, hey, this is shit. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just gonna quit. Like I'm just gonna look into something else. I'm done with this shit. And they told me, no, you need the piece of paper, da da da. And I told them, no, like fuck this shit, bro. Like I'm never going back. This is shit. I'm gonna take the lessons I learned and I'm gonna go do something else. And they said, oh yeah, but no. And then they said, oh, but okay, well, you can take a 1 year sabbatical and figure it out. And then if you can't figure it out, then you can just go back to this, all right? And I was just like, yeah, whatever. Knowing damn well in my fucking own mind, I was never going back to that fucking shit. I don't want to work a job, okay? I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I hate the idea of working a job. Most jobs are fucking useless. Some of them are very important. Some of them are very fucking useless. And the problem is in society today, the most of the people that go work a job, they feel like shit because the job is shit. You trade your time and energy and happiness for money. That's it. So if you didn't need the money, you wouldn't need to work a job. Very simple. Now, what you need to understand is that at the time I was looking through a lot of different things. I was looking through online courses. I was looking at people like mentorships, groups, communities, figuring out a way of something to do that wasn't a job so that I could start making some money. Online or in person, didn't really matter. I just wanted to be free and not get a job and do something a bit more interesting, right? And I think the first ever money I made online was from myself, was just somebody donating. I was streaming at the time, like 4 years ago. I used to stream on like video games and shit, and pretty frequently actually. And what I noticed is that by doing that and just being myself, people would actually pay attention. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. Looked into that a bit more, and I remember, I think the most amount of money I ever made was like maybe like $112, $120, something like that. Not too bad for one stream. And I was like, you know what, this is not too bad. But I was lying to myself because I wanted more. Like I wanted more, much more. And so in order to get much more than that, I had to really look at myself in the mirror and think to myself, what is limiting my growth as an individual? I looked at myself, like I had my gaming computer, 3 monitors, fucking gaming headset, gaming chair, fucking everything. I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, you know what, this is shit. Like, I play video games all day, I don't feel proud of myself. I've got a bunch of time on my hands. I need to figure something out. So what do? I sign up to a couple things online, join a couple communities, couple groups, and then I ask around. I look at what's available, I talk to people, I ask around, and I start looking into different communities, different groups, and I start learning from other people. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. This could actually be my ticket into something more. And then one day I joined an online school. It's kind of like this very, very fleshed out, very practical online school where you had a lessons hub where you could just check out all the lessons that were pre-recorded. Then there was like a community aspect where you had groups and chats and people and different like ranks and roles and whatever, and a hierarchy system. And you also had it was very much based on your merit. It's like if you showed like, hey, we're teaching in this section of the school, we're going to teach you copywriting. In this section of the school, we're going to teach you e-commerce. In this section of the school, we're going to teach you video editing, etc., etc. And then I went in there and I learned copywriting at first. And I remember I was super shit at the start. I helped a couple of my friends because I knew a bunch of stuff about social media, but that's pretty much it. So I helped a bunch of my friends, a couple of them, and got very good at it. And then slowly transitioned from France. I flew over to New Zealand and then started building stuff, and now I'm here, okay? But that's another story for another time. So basically what happened was I spent like 4 years total until I am here like today. Now, I spent 4 years basically thinking about what the fuck do I do? How do I do it? Practicing, testing, working with people, so on and so forth. And the one thing that I noticed within the first 2 years that was crucial to my self-development as an individual was I had to get rid of all of that past habits and all of those past like mental mindset models and whatever the fuck that was in my head that was turning me into a more of a egocentric, undeserving little brat that was just like, oh yeah, I deserve everything, like you should do everything for me, like I should get anything and everything. And I hadn't done anything at this point, so I was like, I thought I deserved the world for nothing. And now, with a bit of experience and a bit of like life lived, I understand that was very fucking stupid at the time, but it was a good lesson to go through, because now I'm humble enough to understand what is necessary, what needs to get done in order for me to become a better person. I need to be able to sit myself down and think to myself, what does Basile need to change in order to get better? And I listed everything out on a piece of paper, on my computer, on a Google Doc, whatever, it doesn't matter. I listed as many things out as I possibly could that I didn't like about myself, and I started changing them slowly. And it took me like 2 years to really get good at this, because I had so many fucking shit mindset models in my own head that were like fighting against me. Basically, they wanted me to stay the same. They wanted me to be the special snowflake, to not give a shit about anybody else and just get money and just fucking do nothing. Just make money by providing no value and being a little brat that thought he deserved everything. That's where I started. And now that I am a bit older, well, not that old, but I do feel a little bit old, because I can't fucking relate to the people my age, but that's another fucking topic. So there was this lie that society kept pushing down my throat about, oh, you're a special snowflake, you're fine the way you are, you're perfect, da da da. And I had to face against that fully, with all of my cards, all of my energy, all of my time, all of my effort, all of my being, in order to get rid of it and to replace it with something more useful, not only to myself but also to society as a whole. Because I want to be an inherent member of society that helps people. I want to be able to provide value to others. I want to be able to create something for myself. I want to be respected. I want to be pushed forward. I want to push other people up. I don't want to just focus too much on creating this delusion of myself and how the world works. I want to make sure that I leave a positive impact on the people around me and my life as a whole on the world. Because that's the only thing that really satisfies me anymore. I'm going to be perfectly honest. The only thing that satisfies me now is, number one, getting better, improving my skill, improving my value, getting more resources, understanding how the world works better, and sharing that with other people. I want to be the best individual possible to benefit the collective. I don't think anybody can benefit the collective unless they are a very beneficial individual to be around. If you think that you need to help a bunch of people and you need to always do your best and you need to always put people before you or yourself, and you have this hero complex, that is very fucking stupid. Because you're just gonna end up fucking yourself over. You're not gonna have any health. You're not gonna have any fucking cards. You're not gonna have anything to your disposal that you can use in order to help other people. What I want to do is I want to become so valuable by myself as the individual that my value spreads to other people around me. And I can share that with other people. Because I don't want to just sit in my house at fucking 50 years old with a bunch of money on the side of the beach and read a book and drink a fucking margarita. Like, that's fucking gay. I don't want to fucking do that. Like, I want to benefit other people's lives. I want to lead people. I want to do something beneficial and positive for today's fucking world. And some people might not believe that, but I don't care what other people think. I care only about what I think first. That's what matters the most. Because I can't control what other people do. I can control what I do. And then I can speak specific words to persuade people, but that's it. So, with the cards that I have, I need to do better. I need to do as much as I possibly can in order to, and I'm still a fucking human, okay? I'm not some fucking superhero. I can be your superhero. No, like, what the fuck? No. Not gonna be your fucking superhero, alright? I am doing my best to be my best version to benefit the people around me. That's it. That's what I'm doing with this channel, for instance. With this channel, I'm sharing the lessons that I learned along the way of becoming a more respectable, more valuable man. That's it. And it might change over the course of the next few weeks, because I've discovered a couple things that would maybe make my content more entertaining, more interesting, more valuable. So we'll see. But at the end of the day, that's the core message. I want to provide value, and I want to just make people understand how to become a more respectable person, how to become a more valuable person. And make sure you don't fall for that fucking lie of like, oh, you're a special snowflake, you're perfect the way you are, don't change anything. That's fucking stupid. If you want to get better, you need to change. You need to embrace hardship and sacrifice things. I had to sacrifice a lot of things. I had to sacrifice friends. stuff, people, my pet cat. I didn't sacrifice it to the dark gods or anything or like that. All right, I had to give it to another family because I couldn't take it abroad. All right, like I had to sacrifice a lot of things that I felt comfortable with having in order to become the person I am today. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the support so far. I can't fucking say that enough. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to stick around for these types of videos. I post a video every single day, so if that's something you're interested in, make sure to stick around. And with that said, it's a beautiful day, so it's gonna be time to get back to work, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.